Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
But through our own lens, which is, spacey. No, I'm just kidding. Ha ha ha. We're fun. Sometimes it's a little bit like salty. Sometimes it's a little bit like chilly, and sometimes it's like real warm like soup and real comforting like a homey kind of apple cidery. We're getting in the mood, kind of like the apple cinnamon kind of treat, a sweet treat at the end. It's us,
Yeah.
DocuSweeties.
Or a stew. You guys, this is 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 9, Sarper and the City. Not sex, but Sarper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever you guys want to do.
I know. I guess so. They were just like, what can we do? Like I made me think of that song, but I can't think of it. The whole words, but like, summer in the city. Oh, is it summer in the city? It must be summer in the city. I don't know. Sarper in the
I don't
city.
know. Sing it again.
But
Go.
May now summer in the city. Here it goes. Then from here, who knows what happens? God bless. Can
You
you
have
believe I
very
exist?
distinct hand movements. You do like this, and then you'll do like this. I love it. I love it. When I recognized that it was happening, I was like, "Oh, I know that. I know that Chris Farrahism."
I go like this, and then up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah. You're
okay,
like,
great.
nah, nah, supper in the city. Nah, nah, stick with dinner pretty. If you guys really want to know what we're doing, you can join us on patreon.com/docusweeties for $10 a month. And you get to see
But think
the
of it as
visuals.
voguing. We're like, I guess, really, if you want to think of it, it's kind of like Arabic voguing. She's tutting. Oh, then okay. I was Arabic
You're
voguing right
doing this
now.
without
Yeah,
your hip shaking.
yes. And then for a moment, she started tutting. Honey, she was in the Remember the Time video. Okay, let's talk about this really boring episode. Except for we get a little more of, they want us to be like interested in Sarper. So this is probably going to be the best episode we get of them because I think they're just going to kind of, I mean, I don't know what's going to be like when we get there. We'll see. The fact that they started so late in the season makes me feel like not much has happened because if they were like a power couple, wouldn't we have wanted them the entire time? But here we are, and we get another flashback of Shanika in the way that she once
No,
looked.
her name
No.
is not Shanika.
I know it's no, I know. I like Shanika. It's Shakina. What's her name?
Nope.
Okay, you say it.
Shekinah.
God damn, Shakina. I'm sorry. Like it's obviously like I don't. I'm not. I'm
Shakina.
sorry.
Shakita Banana is what her name is. Let's just call her
Shakina.
Shakita.
Is it Shakina?
Mm-hmm.
It's Shekinah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shekinah. Okay. So we so anyway, so she picks up in an LA restaurant and she's like, "Hey, I have to do one thing before I leave, which is like, you know, whatever, have this conversation." And for a moment, like maybe I thought it was gonna be that one weird guy that was like that French guy that's like obsessed with her. Like maybe I thought that she'd have a conversation with him that was gonna be like, "Hey, um, I'm gonna go try this thing, but if it doesn't work out, I'll come back and like, well, let's see." I don't know what she would have thought. She would have said to this man. Or maybe, I don't know, her daughter, but I'll tell you who the meeting is with. The meeting is with her first husband, who is this really old Italian guy that lives now in Costa Rica who runs hotels. Wah.
I was like, who is her ex? Because he's rich. But I didn't know. I at first, then I didn't catch that they had actually got married. I thought he was just her boyfriend. And so not only so from my
Oh,
perspective, not only was she being taken care of as a cute pixie blonde in the like late 90s, this man still takes care of her and respects her as the mother of his children and has no qualms with whatever payment he's giving her, whatever child support or whatever. Like, not to say that she doesn't have a job and do things on her own in order to be able to afford the plastic surgery and all the things that she's done in her life, but like the fact that they have a good relationship just really warms my heart. And I don't know anything about Berto. He could have done her terribly. He could be a terrible man. But the way that he shows deference to her and respect to her, even when she tells him that she's about to make another bad choice, He's like, "You're the mother of my child. I'll always have a relationship with you. Just be safe and call me if you need anything." And I thought to myself, if somebody that I had a child with 15 years ago still wants to take care of me, then I've done something right.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I get that. He's gonna come under fire because he really like tries to shame her to not do the things she wants to do because she should be a good mother, and she like throws it back in his face by being like, yeah, but also like you literally never see your daughter and whatever. God bless, and maybe it's your time to like spend some time here because the whole like hotel thing is over. Now, I will tell you this: it's just still like, how did this blonde white lady turn herself into like Lily Galacci from Saws of Sunset? You know, like
Yeah,
it's right. That's
she was
I like it's
crazy.
Lily Galacci's or whatever. I never watched Shaws of Sunset, but like I just know them, and like there's the Lily one because of Lily. She got those lashes, honey. So I will tell you this, like but yeah, gosh, she's just so specifically Middle Eastern looking for some reason to me, but like in a Persian-y way, like
Mm-hmm.
from a certain look, it's just so Lily Galacci to me. Or I, you know, anyway,
I don't
so
know who Lily Galacci is, but I do see what you're saying. This is a woman who has turned herself into, it is like Miona to me. She is ethnic fishing. Like
yes,
she
it
wants
has
to
to
be
be.
seen as an ethnic woman because that is what I see her at. Now, not saying that she isn't. Like, I don't know what her family makeup is, but the choices that she has made with her plastic surgery and her filler and her lifts or whatever she's gotten done makes her look ethnic. Whereas the picture we saw when she was hanging off of Berto's shoulder with that blonde pixie cut is a different phenotypically looking woman. So there's
The
that.
lips was a whole situation. So,
The cheeks,
um,
those
yeah,
cheeks, whew,
no, it's true.
that is
But
what
let's here.
separates her.
I will say this. I will say this. I don't think that she's ugly, though. I think that it's just so specifically shocking how she looks like a different ethnicity. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's like, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think maybe just her. Yeah, I've no, I have to get over it, obviously, because it's like I think they kept her not knowing about them the entire time, and all we knew was their name. So the fact that they just keep showing her as a white blonde lady from her past pictures with a whole different face, it's just each time jarring. But I feel like I don't mean to like face shame her. It's just it's like, but they keep doing it too, and I feel like the editors know what they're doing. Oh, okay. So when the
Yep.
editors, and here we
Yep.
are. And the
Yep.
editors know what they're doing here when we transition to Sarper now, which is the Sarper in the City, honey, opening shot, which is him as a RoboCop model walking through the streets in like apocalyptic, like he survived a nuclear holocaust as like some sort of Terminator, again, RoboCop person, right? Like that is who we now know to be. And I will say, I can't wait for you to talk about the thing that you wrote down in Capital. But when he models, will you also clock that he models again like a robot? I mean, I've just like never seen anyone model like that. Like it's the most like usually when you see people model, there's this kind of
Men?
subtle movements. Sometimes, guys, like if you're on Patreon, you're living, and then if you're on the feed, just know that I'm giving you everything you've ever wanted. Okay, well.
No, I need you to come back and do more of what we've ever wanted. I want you to come back and do more of what we ever wanted. To me, he's giving profile because that's where his strength lies. His strength lies in the strong jaw and the profile because the truth is when I see him dead on, he doesn't look as young or the way he looks in those pictures. He takes a different photo to me than what he actually looks like in real life. And so it's very much like stark relief of like a hard face and a profile. So we see him scratch a cat, and I wrote down Turkish cat culture because whatever season it was with Steven and Alina, some of her name. I talked about the cats in that
Alina.
season and how they were feeling on all these cats, and not so many, just two people came at me like, in Turkey, they take care of their cats and the community feeds the cats so they're not feral and they get taken care of. And me, somebody who like doesn't care one stitch about cats, when like the cat people come at me when I haven't even like heard a cat, even touched a cat, looked at a cat, besides like make commentary, it's hilarious to me. And so he cuddles this cat, and I thought, oh my god, the Turkish cats, they're well fed. Yeah, so
So you're trying to make you're trying to make your cat fans happy. It's like you're saying, like, look, now you're like, you've come your full cat circle. Was her learned her lesson. She gets the people of cats. Go, don't come for her.
I mean, this person was like,
leave my friend alone.
Just so you know. And I was like, girl, I don't care. I don't care. It was a joke. And I'm moving on.
That's what you do.
Chris.
Oh, yeah, let's go back to him. So
Go ahead. No.
There's something about him wants to say. Yeah, he's, he gives me Mohammed of who was the doctor? Eve, and like the guy with the voice.
And Eve, I love her so much. Yeah. Nobody was a doctor. Who was the doctor in that?
She's a doctor. She was acupuncturist. Or like she's a doctor in front of her name on Instagram. There's a DR. So okay, anyway, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's what I. So anyway, So anyway, yes. So that guy reminds me a little bit of doctor. So yeah, he obviously likes to model. He says that he got his fitness degree, whatever, I don't know, like personal training thing 10 years ago, but really only that on a fitness degree. Wah hates me, but then a year ago really started like the business, honey, Instagram. So now he's like, and some roids, and got a little whatever, like ab defining lipo. So now he's into it, and so he's now working out. Then he brings his friend who like I don't know if it's supposed to be like his gym friend, and he's like, I have all my tips and tricks. And I just wouldn't say that if you were trying to also pretend that you're a personal trainer, because I'm not saying his friend is out of shape, but I'm also not saying that this man looks like he's in a gym regularly either.
This is his friend. This is a friend he's known for about 20 years. We find out that he was a stripper and that he quit stripping because his parents hated it. And listen, he said he loved it, that he has had sex so much and with all types of women, and he is absolutely excited and loves Shekinah. But he's had a lot of sex and he doesn't know how he's going to stop having sex with all those women. And all I can think of is this man has had or has an STI. You don't have sex with that many women without contracting something, unless you were using.
You really persist, Matt. I love you so much. Oh God,
it's gross. Like, I don't want to know how. Listen, I never want to know how many women a guy that I'm dating is having sex with or has had sex with. I do not want to know, so that I can feel comfortable when that comes towards mine. So
yes. Yeah, no, I don't either. Like, if men think it's hot for us to be like, oh, you slept with someone, it's not, like, especially like this kind of thing. Like, I felt the same way. I will say this though. I believe him because I once in college got a stripper delivered to my dorm room once, but that was great. But no one fucked him there because it would have been awkward. But then we got him delivered to someone's offsite apartment, and he had lotion. This is what happened. So he did his little dancing thing. Morgan was there, and Morgan was there for it. And at one point, like, put like dollar bills in. So he came and grabbed that, like, with his mouth. But then he got a bottle of lotion and went into the bathroom. And the bathroom was one of those like kitchens, apartment kitchens. That was like off of the living room, so you can kind of like see, like, you can kind of like the entryway. And he would just be there with a white towel wrapped around him, and you would go into the kitchen and you would just put a bunch of lotion in your hand, and then you'd give him a handy, and then he would like sort of like open the towel, like, again, like if he was in a commercial for like something. That's what happened. And then from that moment 2 girls went into a bedroom with him. And this was in college. So this stripper got to fuck 2 college girls at least one night. So this man, I'm sure, has just gone through Turkey, just gone through every bachelorette party. Just, I mean, he has made his way, honey, like the spice trade, like, I mean, yeah, one time in a different situation, one man was trying to court me and he told me about how many prostitutes he'd been with. And I was like, oh, totally, that's great. But, whew, I just, God bless
How
them,
many?
and you. At the time it was 5.
Hmm. That's interesting
Which
that he
if
would tell you that.
then you have to like do some math, like,
Mhm.
every men divide their answer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that he would tell you that. It's such an
Mm,
interesting thing that to tell
mm.
someone that you're dating and courting. It's just such an interesting.
Yeah, I would say so.
So Sarper loves to expose his body. He's obsessed with his looks, and he had something happen where someone told him he had high testosterone, so he was very, very happy about that. Friends like love the tips that he gives them, and he was expecting a one night stand with Lily Galisi, but that didn't happen. He did not have a one night stand with her. It came out to be more than that. And now this man has gone 79 days without having sex with anybody. And he's talking to his friends about it. And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to last. When she gets here, she better do the do. Like, I can't figure it. I can't figure out why I'm in love with this person who chased me, but now I am dedicated to them. And I don't know how I'm going to stop living that Playboy life. He
Thou
says that
doth
he has
protest
slept
too
with.
much.
Yes,
I don't believe it.
thou dost protest too much. He says that he has slept with 2,500 women, which is fucking disgusting.
I do think that yeah, absolutely. I think that he definitely has had a lot of sex, but like the way that he talks about her is like, yeah, I thought she'd be a one night stand. Yeah, and then like I hung out with her, and then when I hung out with her, she begged me to hang out with her the next night. So I fucked 2 girls, and I was sick, and then she still wanted to hang out with me, and I said no, I don't want to hang out, and she said, please let me come over and take care of you. So I let the bitch over, and then we fucked. It was so good, and then I still never thought I'd see her again. But then she came back to Turkey just for me. And then we had a honeymoon style. Like his description of what it was is horrible. Like
Mhm,
any self-respecting woman would hear that and be like, I'm sorry, what? What are you
mhm,
saying?
mhm.
I mean, like, but that's not what's happening, which is for some reason what's happening. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go to commercial. Let's move on.
I
All right.
know. I
Next
know.
couple that we're gonna talk about is Julio and Kirsten, who like are not together. Are they together? Who knows?
I mean, what a
Who
crash
knows?
and burn. I
I
mean,
know. Let's just go, Chris. You get through them real quick. You like her. I don't
no, I
know.
just think that he's yeah. So obviously, basically, as we've been feeling, Julio has been like really wishy-washy what he wants to do, and he's been leading Kirsten on. So Kirsten has been home, like obviously complaining to her friends, saying that it's been months. So now she finally has like a FaceTime, and we watch it through Julio's side, but Julio's side, where he basically is like, yeah, hey, and she's like, what is happening? Like, do you remember how when I was in America, you said in the airport that you were coming here? I'm sorry, I literally, because everyone, we have it on camera, but do you remember that? Like what's literally happening? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But see what happened is
Yeah,
I ended up talking. Yeah.
plans changed and I talked to my mom and she says that she really needs me here. So, yeah, I can't come in December as we talked about.
But I do not see how you did not know. I don't know her accent. I can't even imagine me doing this. Know that when we talked then.
Well, plans change and if you loved me, you would just go along with the plans.
Julio, whatever your name is, I don't know you anymore. Ugh.
Yes, I know that we are young and it would be foolish of you to fucking just put your life on hold for me because I'm wishy-washy and I don't know what the fuck I want and I'm under a lot of pressure. But the fact that you won't do that means that I'm going to get insular in my feelings and stop talking to you because I'm not an adult.
You have 3 months.
What does that mean? Are you giving me an ultimatum?
I can't do it anymore. Stop you! Stop the smiling! You're always smiling at my pain. Why are
I'm
you
not
smiling?
I'm
You're
not
dumb.
smiling. I'm just, it's
You're
like,
laughing and
what can I do?
smiling.
I'm not laughing ha ha. I'm laughing this is crazy.
So is
But
this how we're going to
anyways,
end it?
I mean, I guess this is what it is. I don't know how to express my emotions and be an adult and talk to you like a grown man who has feelings. So I'm just going to leave you feeling heartbroken and me like going on with my life and telling myself over and over again that you chose not to wait for me when that's in fact not the truth.
And it's very obvious that you've met someone else from your like cold demeanor. That's not what she says, but that's the truth.
Oh, you think he
That's
met
the
somebody
truth.
else?
Yeah, I think that he is so cold and so weird with her, and he knows exactly what he did. And for him to be so, I think that he is emotionally disconnected with her in such a way that he has someone else. Because she's enough. I
I
mean,
mean, but you
she's
could be those. You don't have to have somebody else. You think he has someone else?
yes,
Oh, I
yes.
mean, one day would love to learn this thought pattern. Okay, so let's move on to the next couple, and that's Brandan and Mary. And I'll go on ahead and do this one. So, in this episode, they go to the grandparents' old home because Brandon wants the grandparents to get the fuck out of his house. But he sets it up in a way to like see the way that the new old home who was affected by the typhoon is faring, and it's faring pretty well because her brother has been fixing it up. And then she's like, new house is safer because the higher of the it's on higher ground, and my family needs money to pay the bills. And then he's like, well, can we ask Lolo for a loan? And she's like, we cannot ask Lolo because he's done so much for me, and I'm not asking for any money. And Brandon's like, I understand everything you're saying, and I love you, but can we ask Lolo for a loan?
It just
And
says
she's
the
like,
first the
no.
first two letters of load is Lolo. That's the only like. Do you ever, maybe that's inside of God? Do you ever think about that, Catholic?
Oh my God. And she's like, he done so much for me and he take care of me. So I'm not asking him for
Oh,
any
just breathe,
money.
just breathe.
He's
Oh God.
sacrificed too much. And
Bitch, I just
then,
asked a question, bitch. I just asked a
I,
question.
but you
I'm just
are
fucking dying.
American who have more money and you say you love me, but
It's always
you
great
want to
America too.
take,
We get homeless in
make,
America. We have homeless people. Remember,
yeah,
I was homeless.
yes,
Remember me?
but not the same homeless as in Philippines. It's
Oh,
different here.
okay.
And I
Cry me a river,
you
honey, and then poop in it. Is that what
asking
you're gonna say? Cry me and then poop in a river? Jesus Christ. Cry me, cry me a river. Cry me.
and speaking of poop water, you guys, Paul has been found. I know that there was rumor going around from Paul from before the 90 days, Paul and Carini, that he was missing in the Amazon somewhere, but he has been found and we can luckily yuck about it. And we didn't have two sharp entertainment deaths in 1 week because it literally would
Jesus.
have been Asante and Paul. I mean, it
I
would have been
mean,
crazy.
we're like, what do we do? We're in the world,
Rah,
not
shit,
just
rah,
of. We're now of the world and not just in the world. Whatever it is. Okay,
rah.
so here we moving on to our last, the best couple, obviously, which is
I
Kimberly
mean,
and TJ, which they didn't give us last time because they know. My God,
looking at her
so obvious.
picture, can't you tell
She's,
can't you tell how she's gonna look when she gets old?
she's much prettier than this picture. This picture looks like doesn't even look like her, and like for some reason cuts off her arms in such a way that she's cuter than this picture.
Oh.
But I don't still like her as a person. But basically, we obviously pick up on the fact that she had yelled at the brother and the brother yelled at her and it was like a hot ass mess. And for some reason, she doesn't think that like anyone's going to talk in a language that's not, that she can hear. Because she's a clairvoyant, so she thinks she can hear and know all. Very omniscient, this person. But so she's driving and she wants to learn how to drive a car. She's driving TJ's car. For some reason, TJ's car is filled with plastic, like an older person's, like, you know, like they would put on their like sofas like in the 70s. Like it's plastic. Like is this an Uber at some point? Are people gonna like throw up and spill things? Like is this not your car? I need to know all of it. But basically she side swipes a car just like Cher from Clueless, like, oops, my bad. You know, like, you know, in her Jeep, remember that scene? But basically, she like scrapes TJ's car, and then TJ has to be like okay with it, and then the bitch blames India. She's like, India driving is so crazy. Like, you just got, you don't even know what to do except not hit a cow, you know? And so I don't know why I said cow like that, but basically, she's otherworldly. Well,
Yeah. So after they go to the venue to see what it's like, and she goes in there and she's like, I don't like hot pink. I like a very specific type of pink. So if you could take these specific flowers out of your decor that you've put here, that would be great. Thank you. And she's like, I haven't had anything to do with the planning of this wedding. And I mean, I guess here's the truth. If I was marrying somebody from another country, I don't know that I would have any plans at all with the wedding. I'm like, you all do it. Because listen, if I want a wedding later that looks like how I want it to look, I will put it on and I will pay for it. And then it'll have everything that I want. But if I'm trying to get married to somebody in another country, y'all just go ahead and do what you do. So,
yeah, she wants, you know what, she wants a forced wedding. She wants like little twinkle lights and mason jars. Like, you know, she wants
yep,
a
barnyard
and she,
door.
and what she's getting is Wa's dream wedding, and she doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I won't
Yeah.
say that because
I'm like, all the
yeah.
color, all the Indians, all the food. Like that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. And so she then is at home and she decides that she's going to pull some cards. I mean, the tarot is taroting and she is going to get some inspiration. Her spirit animals are going to tell her which way to go. Our spirit guides are going to tell her which way to go. And then TJ comes upstairs and he's like, "Hey, let's come downstairs and speak to my parents so that we can like air everything out." And so she comes downstairs in her whore ass outfit, knees ablazing, knees out. And the mother is like, why can't you tell this bitch to dress properly? She is in the house. Does she think that showing her knees is going to get her anything? And Yesh is like, exactly this whore. She said, I don't like your family. I don't want to help your mother clean the kitchen. I don't want to do anything. I hate India. I want to go back to America. And the mother is just filled with all this vitriol from Yesh. And TJ is like, you did it. Stop it. And so there's this argument. And the dad and Kimberly are just kind of like, and then Kimberly, she ends up getting up and going away.
Well, because the mom's like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And so Kimberly now knows that they're like talking specifically shit about her, which I love. You love, we all love it. We just like melt. Mm-hmm. So then Kimberly goes and like goes up on the stairs like a petulant little like high schooler and sits there while she like hears, and then she makes it about herself and she says two of the words.
No, you're gone. You're gone. Come back and do that again. Okay, Jean Marie, can you come in and can you fix this so that Chris is coming, like doing it correctly, you know, like that there is an edit so that after I ends and Chris goes in and says this thing again. Hi, Patreon. How are you? Okay, she's back.
Okay.
Go ahead. Do it again. Take two.
What did I? Okay.
Oh, gosh, Chris. I can't help you do everything. You were saying that she sits on the stairs like a petulant child.
Got it. Okay, so she sits on the stairs like a petulant child, and then she obviously is hearing everyone just argue, scream, and she, you know, literally has caused it because of her knees and her like horrible attitude and the wanting to cook garlic. Like she's a goddamn nightmare. And so basically she says, the one thing I didn't want is for people to be yelling about me in a foreign language that I don't understand. And I want to be like, oh, you could have avoided that by so many things. A, learning how to speak Hindu. B, not being a goddamn bitch. You could have like, if that was the one thing that you wanted, which by the way, it's not, you wanted like an apartment. You want your wedding with like no like important colors of what they do. Like you want to cook garlic. Like you literally want so many things. And also, if that is the one thing that you didn't want, why didn't you see it coming, you clairvoyant bitch? I'm sorry. Like this was the lie. I just like all of it. Like I just like on this stairs when she says it, it's like, please, it's just too much. I just like, I then she says, and they're just being rude.
Yes. In a foreign
They're
language? She's in their country. It's not a foreign language.
I
Chris is
know.
dead.
I
She's died.
know.
Her soul just
I'm
left
no
her body.
longer here. Okay. I just feel like all of it was like, and by the way, the mother finally said the things that I've said. Like, she has no manners. How does she come here? Like, well, I couldn't in a billion years. I wouldn't walk around like that with the in front of. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. She has no
Yeah.
respect. She has no culture. She has no sophistication. She's
Yep.
not worldly. She wants to pretend she knows things. She's intuitive. It's so obvious how like close-minded and how like she's disgusting, truly.
Yep. Yep. The mother says, "What's the point of wearing these clothes? Her father in law is right here. Respect your elders a little bit. It's not as if her coming to the house in indecent clothes will benefit her in any way." Now, that statement is a statement said from a woman who is steeped in patriotism. I mean, the patriarchy. Like, there's no reason for her to say she's going to benefit in any way. Like, as the idea of a woman dressing inappropriately is to benefit, is to get something from men. That part struck me a little like, that's wrong. But if the culture is to cover your knees, then cover your fucking knees. Now, here's the truth. To me, showing your midriff is saucy. So when I first discovered Indian culture, I was like, but you're showing your midriff. That is saucy, but it's not saucy in their culture. You need to cover from the waist down in order to be respectful. And then TJ's like, listen, she will gradually learn. I'm not going to just shove all of our culture in her face. And someone's like, you should at least teach her not to come downstairs naked. Now, this woman is wearing a full sweater and full jeans. The only thing that's showing is like mid thigh down to mid shin. They're like, she's naked. Now, I didn't know that knees were so important. Now, I'm not siding with her. All I'm saying is that I was shocked at their aghast, how they were aghast by what she was wearing. But also, TJ needs to do a better job of telling her how to behave and protecting her, and he's not. And his idea of giving her things piecemeal is the thing that's causing the issues. She's going to have a problem when she has to wake up at 4 a.m. to make chai for all the men. And she's not going to do that. So taking it slow to explain it to her is not going to help it or work at all. All right, you guys, we got to go. So
We love you guys so
patreon.com/DocuSweeties.
much.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to, you can, of course, watch the visuals on patreon.com, which was what I was saying before I was so rude and interrupted. But I jumped in because I thought I was going to do social media stuff. And so
do
that's
your
just,
part. Yeah, do it. Go ahead. Do the social
Okay.
medias.
So you can go on Instagram and type in @DocuSweeties. You can go on TikTok and do @DocuSweeties. You can go on X and Twitter and do DocuSweeties. And you can do Facebook because we have everything. What?
Yes. And if you wanted to do Patreon, you could do Patreon for $10 a month. Alive every first Monday of the month.
All right,
which is
Gino.
today. Okay, great. Alive every first Monday of the month with me and Jasmine. And we're going to talk about her hair and the fact that I can't get hard. And if you guys want to support Wah and Chris, you can do so by going to patreon.com/DocuSweeties. Is that it? Is it, Chris? Are we done? Jasmine?
Gina! Okay, we love you guys so much. We'll talk to you later, okay?